Dude, you put snacks in here?
Yeah.
You guys want to get out here and hit some? Hit it hard. We're here to hit it. You guys look like you're literally about to play basketball. Hello. With the heart.
Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hall just made it crystal clear they want to be back with the Indiana Fever next season. After spending some time as Caitlin Clark's caddies at a golf tournament, the questions started flying about their future with the team, and both of them keep giving the same answer. It all depends on the CBA negotiations. Have you ever watched teammates show so much off-court chemistry that you got super excited about what they could do together on the court? Let me know down in the comments. And get this, the Indiana Fever front office definitely gets it. Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hall need to be back in Indianapolis next season. It became obvious after that golf tournament, where they both served as Caitlin Clark's caddies. The whole thing just highlighted the incredible rapport and chemistry between the three of them, which is exactly what you want to see from teammates during the off-season. But hold up. Let's get real about why this actually matters. It's not just some cute story that they caddied for Caitlin. It's because both Sophie and Lexie can seriously hoop. Lexie Hall brings an energy you just can't teach. She's a shooter, moves incredibly well without the ball, and is absolutely that glue player every winning team desperately needs. Sophie's got a similar vibe but with her own flair. She can absolutely light it up from deep, handle the ball a bit, and brings insane versatility to the court. While they're not Aaliyah Boston or Kelsey Mitchell, make no mistake, they are a crucial part of this team's core and depth. And get this, the fact that they both have amazing relationships with Caitlin Clark, that's just the icing on the cake. Chemistry isn't just a buzzword in basketball. When players genuinely like each other and understand how to play together, it shows on the court. Sophie and Lexie clearly vibe with Caitlin, and that instantly elevates the entire team dynamic.
Oh, this is making me nervous. Cunningham! Yeah, guys, come on! Yeah! Let's go! Oh, is that bad? Is that bad?
No.
Good. Oh no! Oh no!
You got it, girl. Got it, girl.
Happy Gilmore. Man down! Man down! He's down! Woo. I'm so sorry. And baby! Lexie! Oh! So Caitlin, done.
What's even more insane is that both Sophie and Lexie totally get how much being associated with Caitlin helps them. Playing alongside one of the biggest stars in women's basketball literally elevates everyone's profile. Sophie, especially, has absolutely blown up thanks to the attention that comes with being Caitlin's teammate. She's smart enough to recognize that, and she understands the massive value of staying right there in Indianapolis. Sophie keeps getting hammered with questions about her future with the Fever. And guess what? She keeps giving the exact same answer. At that golf event, when asked about Caitlin, she said Clark elevates everyone around her. She's a generational player, and everyone sees that. Then Sophie added that depending on the CBA and what's going on, hopefully we're all together again. She even mentioned that while people see Caitlin in a serious light, the team gets to see her goofy side, which is awesome. That depending on the CBA line, that's basically Sophie's go-to answer now. She's not spilling any personal tea about wanting to be back with the Fever. She's putting the whole thing on whether there's even going to be a season at all. And honestly, that's super smart because the CBA negotiations are incredibly complicated, and literally nobody knows how they're going to shake out.
Let's not be dense. The Fever front office realizes the caddy connection belongs back in Indianapolis next season. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance around Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull serving as Caitlin Clark's caddies during that golf event. It shows you the rapport, the chemistry, not to mention that those two can play, right? Lexie Hull has that energy you just can't teach, can shoot the ball, moves without the ball, a glue type of player. Same thing with Sophie.
So Sophie actually gave another interview where she spilled about what was missing with the Fever last season. And her answer was super simple. Just health. She thinks if the team had been healthy, they absolutely would have won the championship. And honestly, that's probably true, because the Fever were battling injuries all season long, which clearly hammered their performance. But when everyone was healthy and clicking, they looked like legitimate contenders. Then when asked directly about the likelihood of being back with the Fever next year, Sophie said everyone's staying in touch, but there's just not much to talk about until that CBA is locked down. Now that might sound a little awkward, but truly, she's just being practical. Until the CBA gets figured out, teams literally can't make official moves or sign contracts. So there's absolutely nothing to discuss regarding her situation. Sophie also mentioned the last CBA meeting was about 2 weeks ago, and she's not exactly sure where things are at, but the players are standing strong for what they want, which totally suggests these negotiations are still ongoing, and maybe even a bit contentious. The players are pushing for better pay, better conditions, better everything, while the league of course has its own budget constraints and concerns. So finding that middle ground, it's going to take some serious time. And get this, she was even asked about Project B, that new league making headlines, and Sophie's response was spot on. If people are going to pay you multi-million-dollar deals, why wouldn't you consider it? You have to understand, players have short careers, and they need to maximize their earnings while they can. So if another league throws more money at them, you really can't blame anyone for at least listening to the pitch. But here's the kicker about Project B. It really seems to be targeting players closer to the end of their careers, who want to cash out before retiring. It's basically fighting back against the Saudi-backed league's poaching talent. Caitlin Clark joining Project B would be absolutely stunning, considering her current financial empire and where she is in her career. She just doesn't need Project B. She's already raking in good money through endorsements, and her WNBA contract is only going to get better. Then there's Unrivaled, which looks like it's going after younger rising stars, players coming straight from college, who are hungry for more competition and income. That league has already signed some huge names and seems to have real momentum. But what's even more insane is that all of this is happening while CBA negotiations are ongoing, which complicates absolutely everything. The fact that some players in executive roles are also playing for or affiliated with these other leagues makes the CBA negotiations even messier. Seriously, there are conflicts of interest all over the place. Everyone's trying to maximize their own situation, while also negotiating for the collective good of all WNBA players. It's unbelievably complicated.
How much their association with Caitlin Clark helps them as well. So, assuming all things get worked out the way one could see things getting worked out based on the past, both Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull will be back.
Now, let's be super clear. Sophie's comments about Project B, you absolutely shouldn't take that as a sign she's leaving the WNBA or the Fever. What she's really saying is that she's not judging anyone for taking opportunities that come their way. Plus, she's obviously not making any commitments until all the paperwork is done and the CBA situation is completely resolved, which is just the smartest move. Don't commit to anything until you know all your options. The fact that things have been pretty quiet recently on the CBA front is actually a good sign. When both sides are loudly complaining in the media, it usually means negotiations are a mess. So quiet suggests they're actually making progress and working to get a deal done. The draft lottery is even coming up on November 23rd, meaning the league is moving forward with business as usual, which is another huge positive. The bottom line here is that barring something super dramatic like a lockout that cancels the season or a CBA structure so wild it makes it impossible for the Fever to keep their roster, there's basically no chance Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull aren't back. Lexie's a restricted free agent, meaning the Fever can match any offer she gets from another team. So unless some team throws an absurd amount of money at her that the Fever can't or won't match, she's definitely coming back. Sophie has obviously benefited immensely from playing next to Caitlin Clark. Her profile has exploded, her game has improved from playing with someone that talented, and Indianapolis is genuinely a great situation for her. She's not dumb, she understands the massive value of staying with a team that's clearly on the rise and boasts the best young player in the league. And let's be real about the power dynamics here. Caitlin Clark is the franchise. She's the whole reason fans show up, the reason games are on national TV, the reason the Fever went from irrelevant to one of the most talked about teams in the league. If Caitlin wants Sophie and Lexie back, they are absolutely coming back. The front office isn't going to ignore what she wants, assuming it's financially possible. The Fever's social media team clearly gets it too, posting those photos from the golf event with a caption about the best caddies featuring Caitlin, Sophie and Lexie having a blast in Fever gear. That's no accident. They're reinforcing the narrative that these three belong together, that this is the core they're building around. There's also something to be said about Sophie and Lexie's incredible self-awareness in agreeing to be Caitlin's caddies. They showed up in Fever gear, supported their teammate, and did it all with good humor. That takes a deep understanding of how things work. They know Caitlin is the star, they know the team revolves around her, and they're totally fine with that, comfortable in their roles as supporting players. That kind of self-awareness is absolutely crucial for team building, because not everyone can be the star, Most players have to accept complementary roles, and that requires a certain level of maturity and character. The Fever have clearly prioritized bringing in high-character players. Remember Stephanie White's shopping cart analogy last year about players who put the cart back in the corral? That's the organization has made character a priority, and it totally shows in how this roster functions together. But Sophie and Lexie aren't just coming back because they're great teammates who get along with Caitlyn. They're coming back because they provide real value on the court. Both of them can shoot, which is absolutely crucial when you're playing next to a point guard like Caitlyn, who creates so many open looks. Both of them understand how to play off the ball and make the right cuts and movements. You could actually run a death lineup with Caitlyn, Sophie, Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. That's a small lineup you couldn't play the whole game, but for stretches it would be incredibly effective, with shooters around Aaliyah, Caitlyn creating and everyone else spacing the floor. That's a nightmare to defend. The chemistry between these players matters immensely too. They've spent time together on and off the court. They understand each other's tendencies, they know how to communicate, and they've built real trust. That's not something you can just recreate by signing new players. Chemistry takes time to develop, and the Fever already have it with this core group. Honestly, the golf tournament was a genius move by all three of them. It kept them in the public eye during the off-season, reinforced their connection as teammates, and showed they're having fun together. That kind of content helps maintain fan interest when there are no games, keeping the Fever relevant even during the months the WNBA isn't in season. The fact that hundreds, even thousands of fans showed up to watch Caitlyn play golf, many rocking Fever jerseys, just shows the insane level of interest in this team. People are invested. They want to see this core group run it back next season, healthy, and see what this team can truly do when they're not constantly battling injury. Sophie and Lexie totally get that being part of this team is invaluable for their careers. They get to play with one of the best players in the world. They get national TV exposure. They get to compete for championships, and they get all the financial benefits that come with being on a popular, successful team. Endorsement opportunities, social media growth, all of it flows from being associated with a winning team and a star player. The Fever front office understands all of this too. They're absolutely not going to mess up a good thing by letting Sophie or Lexie walk over contract issues that can be resolved. They know what they have, they know the chemistry is real, and they know this core can win if they stay healthy. Bringing everyone back should be the top priority, and honestly everything suggests that's exactly what will happen. The only real variable is the CBA. If negotiations completely fall apart and there's a lockout, then all bets are off. If the new CBA structure somehow makes it financially impossible to keep everyone, that's a problem. But assuming a deal gets done and the structure is similar to what exists now, Sophie and Lexie will absolutely be back in Indianapolis, rocking Fever uniforms next season. So yeah, Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull are almost definitely coming back to play with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever next season. The chemistry is undeniable, the value is there, and everyone involved wants it to happen. The only question is whether the CBA negotiations mess everything up. If you want more updates on the Fever's off-season moves, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe.